going on, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to another live stream. I hope you guys are doing well. Shout out to everybody in the building. Listen, as you come into the building, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the like button, y'all. Make sure you hit the like button as you come into the building. Shout out to you guys. Happy Friday. I hope y'all are doing well, enjoying your weekend. I hope everybody is well. So what's going on? I hope y'all are doing good. Y'all, shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. Shout out to everybody who's watching this live stream, everybody in the chat, everybody who supports the channel. I appreciate you guys. Listen, I'm gonna try not to keep y'all too long, y'all. I'm not feeling that good, but I wanted to make sure I come on here and do our little Friday live stream. So make sure you guys are hitting the like button and support the channel, y'all. So y'all see the title. So I titled this because there's a clip that I incorporated into this live stream that I want y'all to see. And of course, y'all know the shenanigans already, but it's an ongoing thing. Every day we hear some more crazy ish, from the Bonnet crew. And, sometimes I just like to share what's really going on, but nothing's changed. A lot of independent boss chicks are still entitled, still want something for nothing from a man. And, they're still struggling, having a hard time getting a man to commit to them, child. So it is what it is. So the title says, "Pay for my groceries and I will talk to you," plus Cassie Sue, plus more. Before we get into the clips and everything, what do you think about Cassie being sued? I wanted to talk about this earlier, but I wanted to get y'all thoughts on it. Um, of this male escort, and I think I talked about it, but not in a live. If I'm not mistaken, the fact that she is being sued, child. Tasha K interviewed this guy. I want to play a little bit of the audio from that. I'm not gonna play too much, but he's saying a whole lot. Have you guys seen that video of the male escort talking about Cassie and what went on in his time of being her personal boy toy? Have you guys seen that? If not, I want to play a little bit of the audio from before we get into the other clips and everything. Because I thought this was very interesting. And it kind of points to the whole Cassie Diddy situation of and the whole thing with Cassie kind of exposing herself in a sense, with the fact that she wasn't really the victim most of us thought she was. We thought that, of course we knew Diddy was down bad, okay? We clearly see or saw that this was a domestic violence issue because he was definitely, allegedly knocking her head between a wash and a dry. I mean, there's video evidence of it. So we clearly saw that this was a domestic violence issue between Diddy and Cassie. But as far as all of the ex trafficking and all of the other things, and looking at her as a victim from a domestic violence standpoint, uh, I could see that. But when it came to all of the other stuff, this is where it got a little tricky. Where Cassie proved or had shown herself to be a willing participant in everything that was going on. That there was no poor Cassie in the corner being held down, being strapped to the bed while people take advantage of her or took advantage of her. No, it was proven that she was a willing participant, and she set up some of these things and all of this. So kind of took a little turn, and I think a lot of women realized that, and the empathy kind of went away a little bit. On the one hand, you feel sorry for her, then the other hand, it's like, girl, you knew, you was into that, you was into all the rest of that, you know what I'm saying? Now, why Diddy was putting his hands on you, that's a whole nother story. But as far as all this other stuff, girl, you was a willing participant. You set up the freak offs, you chose the people. And so that takes us to this guy who is suing her, which he's one of the male escorts that was mentioned in the case. And I want to play a little bit of it, just so you can hear a little bit of what he was saying, because it's just crazy to me. And I once again, I look, you live your life, do what you want to do. I ain't really got a problem with that. But it's just interesting when it becomes public information. People have a right to have an opinion, so I'm just giving my opinion. But it's your life; you do what you want to do. But a lot of women were, in defense of Cassie until they heard, the stories, and that she enjoyed the stuff. So it's like, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? But I want to play a little bit of this. Y'all listen to this. The audio is a little wonky, but just listen to a little bit of what he's saying. I ain't gonna play the whole thing because it's long. I'll get the link to Tasha K's actual video and put it so you can go check out that, or just go to Tasha K. The whole interview is on her channel if y'all haven't seen it. But listen to what he's saying here.
Daniel Phillip and I were in an orgy with Sean Combs. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Went out for a second.
Yeah, you said Daniel Phillip?
Daniel Phillip. I met Daniel Phillip in an orgy at Cassie's apartment in one of the Trump buildings in Midtown Manhattan. I believe it was 2011. That's where I met Daniel Phillip in an orgy where I was called by Cassie to have a sexathon. And basically the goal of this sexathon was for one of us to last the longest. Whoever lasts the longest was going to become her main boy toy. Tasha K, I see your face. This is the truth. So for 2 days, myself and Daniel Phillip, we participated in this sexathon, Sex and Cassie. Daniel Phillip hung in there, but I think the morning, I think it was a Wednesday morning, actually. I think the morning of the wrap up of the thing, he finally couldn't participate anymore. Not because something's wrong with him. He had been up 2 days. He's back to back having sex with her. He was tired, so he couldn't perform anymore. But I still could. So I finished her off. You know, I end up winning. DeeDee comes out the room after he carries her in the other bedroom. He pays Daniel Phillip. Daniel Phillip leaves. He comes to me. He tells me out his own mouth. He says, "Listen, she said you were the best penis she ever had in her life." Wow, really? He said, "Yeah." He says, "Yo, she wants you to come back. She just needs some time to rest." I said, "All right." Now I had been there 2 days, Tasha. I needed to go to work. I was an optician. I don't even think I was escorting anymore at the time, because I only started escorting because I was in prison. I got released. I had a great body. I was good with women. So someone hired me to be an escort. So maybe a year or two into it, I stopped. I got a job. I was an optician and I was trying to get my life together. I didn't have time for that, but Cassie paid me so well. It was kind of like a no-brainer. Beautiful woman, $5,000 every time I got to break her down. What?
Rico said during our interview last week that the pay was $5,000.
5,000. I only got less than 5,000 one time, and that's the time DeeDee drugged me. He gave me $1,500 to go home because I was completely drugged out of my face off of something he gave me. But every other time I got 5,000. The time with Daniel Phillip and winning this orgy, I think I got like $11,000 in total from winning the orgy, then coming back and dusting her off again. I had an extensive history with Cassie. I see your face. You're like, oh my God, yeah.
How many hours did you go?
Oh, the longest I ever had sex with it was 4 days in Miami. You had to put your glasses on for that one.
Okay, now hold on for a second. So when you have sex for 4 days, do you stop to pee? Do you take breaks? What happens?
Yeah. It's kind of like, you know something? People don't realize something. DeeDee is rich. He's as rich as a king. I don't know if you've ever seen the HBO TV series Rome, like where there was with the Julius Caesar series Rome that they had years ago on HBO.
No, but I'm sure my husband has watched it. He watched all them type of shows. But
okay, a couple of years, HBO had a series, and in this series they had like Cleopatra, Mark Antony. They were smoking opium. They had a bunch of slaves in there that she was sleeping with that had larger members than Mark Antony. This is what a freak off really was. I was made to be completely naked, baby oil, and basically kept on standby for every time Cassie needed to come. And I would be called to make her come. I didn't have to eat her vagina. I didn't have to kiss her, even though she kissed me, which is disgusting now that I know she was letting people urinate in her mouth. But this is the whole point of
Yeah, this is some nasty work. It's some nasty work. And he goes into detail. You know, some people don't believe his full interaction with Cassie because he goes on to talk about, you know, how he was hired and that she wanted him and all the nasty details about what Cassie wanted from him. See, and so he just breaks it down to just really tell you how nasty Cassie was. You know what I mean? Him too. Okay. But for what was happening, what Cassie was allowed to be to happen to her is just filthy. You know what I mean? This woman was used as a, you know, on purpose as a human dumpster. Oh, do whatever, you know, and I'm pretty sure she's not the only one, but she's the one that's been exposed. This woman liked that type of stuff. You know, she was into that. Now, some would argue that DeeDee introduced her to that lifestyle? Maybe so. Maybe. I wouldn't doubt that. But from what we're hearing, she was a willing and open vessel. She was willing to walk right through that door and get down with the get down and seem to love it. You know what I mean? He goes on to say how insatiable Cassie was, and she was always horny. Basically, she always wanted it, and she wanted it with him and others. And not necessarily with DeeDee, because that wasn't enough for her, so she allegedly wanted more, and he was one of those who was paid to be there with her to keep her satisfied. So, once again, child, this is the life of the rich and famous. This is the life of the rich and famous. And if you're down with that kind of stuff, that's your business. I don't have no problem with it one way or another. If that's your thing and you doing what you, and everybody's consensual and everybody is, on the same board, everybody is agreeing to the same things, there's nothing to complain about. My issue, what I was speaking of, and me and my husband was talking about this, and we was talking about because he was like, a lot of this, he believed from the beginning that a lot of this wasn't, that it was consensual, that these women knew they were getting into. And I was like on that same page, but at the same time, I'm like, well, listen, I want to hear the court proceedings. I want to hear if she was forced into this, because my thing is this: if freak offs, y'all agree to do that, y'all know what's going on, y'all walk into it, that you want to get your freak on or whatever, and it's all consensual, there's no problem. These are consenting adults. But my thing has always been, if somebody is forced into something, if you're being made to do something and forced to do something, or manipulated to do something, I don't like that. I don't like manipulation. I don't like people who try to take advantage of folks. So that was my perspective. But then hearing the case and hearing all of this, it was clear to me that there was no manipulation or no real forcing anybody to do anything from what we saw. It would seem like willing participants who were getting paid to do it. You get what I'm saying? So, that's the twist in all of this. And so, this guy is just basically telling it. He said, somebody asked, why is he telling this story now? He said he wrote a book. He has a book out. So it's in the book, if I'm not mistaken. And he been wanted to come out and sue because of what he's claiming happened to him, which he speaks of in this interview, where he says, Cassie had sex with him while she was, having her monthly, and he didn't know that because the lights were dark, and he didn't know, and he felt violated. And then he also admits that she became pregnant with his child and told him. And so, my husband brought up a good question. He was like, well, how does she know it was his baby? Was he the only one she was sleeping with, or was she sleeping with other people too? So then he mentions that they would do, other freak offs and, other, with other couples and things of that nature. So I'm like, were they all using protection every time? Or how did she assume that the child was his, that she was allegedly pregnant with? Could have been anybody's. So that was a little sketchy in a sense, but that's what I think, the lawsuit is about. But baby, it's just a hot mess. It's a lot. If that's your lifestyle, that's what you want to do, I would say be very careful with who you're dealing with, because anybody at any point could say that they was harassed or taken advantage of, or you did them something that they didn't agree to, and they have you in court being sued or in jail, locked up for something that really wasn't what they're saying it is. So that's what DeeDee is dealing with now. When you do these type of freak offs and you have this kind of stuff happening and going on, these are the consequences of it. This is what ended up happening. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Says she didn't ask about DeeDee. He's seeking clout. That's what my husband said too. He said that too. There are a few people who think that he's clout chasing or whatever. Maybe he is. But I will say, to me, if you go and go to Tasha K's channel and watch the full thing if you want to hear all of that. He seems credible in how he's speaking. Now, we were saying maybe he's just a good liar. I don't know, but he seems very credible in what he's saying. From what I heard. Thank you, Successful MD. Successful MD also says, was it Cassie or was he really with P. Diddy? Now, good question, because he explains that too. He was like, he never had he's not gay. He said he didn't have no instances with Diddy, but there was one time where allegedly Diddy was trying to test him, that he did a test to try to see if he was into that or whatever. And it was like he passed the test because he wasn't into men. He speaks on that as well. So he says he's never had no interactions with Diddy at all. Thank you, Successful MD. So that's what he's claiming, because I guess he knows people were going to ask about that. Jontel, thank you for the super chat. Says, I'm not saying that he's telling lies, but there's too much pride in his voice. If you are to win money in court, you need to sound hurt. He's fumbling. Oh wow. You listen. I didn't think of it that way, but I mean, if you listen to his full testimony, I mean, not testimony, but the full story of what he's telling Tasha K, I don't know. He seems credible to me. My husband thinks there's some truth in what he's saying, but he doesn't believe the full story. And who knows? It might be some embellishments in there. It might be, who knows? He has a book, I'm sure he wants to sell that book. So that could be a part of it. Thank you, Jontel. I appreciate you. What's going on, Farrell? Farrell, thank you for the super chat. Says, celebrity OnlyFans, highly weird, and music is full of this BS. It really is. Thank you, Farrell, for the super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel. Successful MD says, Derrick Jackson sounded credible for years. To who? Not to me. Not to me. He's one that I knew, I saw right through it. But he was credible to a lot of women for sure. A lot of single women for sure. But I just didn't buy it. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's my third eye. I don't know. Something about him just it seemed weird. So I guess that it depends on, who he's credible to. So he was credible to a lot of women. That's for sure. Thank you, Successful MD. I appreciate you for the super chat, child. Let's play a little bit more of this and we're going to move on.
Oh my God, man. Oh my God.
Keep going. You are an excellent storyteller, and we look forward to this book. I'm gonna give you a week's worth of promotion on this book across all my platforms. That is on me for keeping your word, for coming through here, and for dropping this wine. We are going to heavily promote. Get his ass on the roster. Go ahead. Keep going. Okay.
I promised you I would tell you the truth, because that's what this is about. Diddy might have did a lot of bad stuff. He's horribly abusive to women. We all know this. This is his track record, but he does not deserve an unfair trial. And if there's evidence that says that Cassie's involved, they should not be holding that to make her look like this holier than art thou battered woman. He was abusive. He was abusive, but he wasn't abusive because she didn't want to have sex. That's the exact opposite. He was abusive because he would catch us having sex behind his back. She would emasculate him about his penis size because he's not that big. She would always get smart with him. And Diddy, from what I saw, Diddy is although he's incredibly successful, he's incredibly insecure. His ego is on everything. He would compete with me to try to sleep with Cassie better than me while he was paying me to do it, which was insane. An example, let's say I'm having sex with her. She comes, she's laying in the bed. She's like, oh my God, shaking. I usually would get up and stand off to the side to let him watch her react to coming. He would jump on top of her right after and try to have sex with her, I guess, to make her come again. Now, I'm 3 times larger than him, I would probably say, just off a glance. I never had a sexual relationship with him. I need to say that because you have a...
Keep going.
In a room with this guy for 8 years. So it's like playing on basketball. When you're walking around with people in the basketball team, you're going to see things you don't want to see. So unfortunately, I saw Sean Combs' member. It's not big. So I believed Cassie when she said, yo, listen, my husband has a small penis. I'm hiring you because you can satisfy me. He likes to watch. I had absolutely no reason to doubt that she was telling the truth to that.
Did he have a micro penis or something?
It just was small. He big pockets, little member. That's just what it was, man. He big pockets, and women don't care. No disrespect. Women don't care when you got a lot of money. Listen, you got a lot of money. We can get around that. He got enough money. She was a young, horny girl. She liked to have sex. And this was the arrangement. He took her around. They would have these free calls because she was into the swinger lifestyle. She tried to take me to strip clubs. She invited me to swinger parties. She would talk to me about the lifestyle and how her and Sean like to sometimes get together and get with other couples. So I was completely dumbfounded when I heard the fact that she was saying she was made to have these sexual relationships. And I'm like, when? I never saw you being forced. I never saw you being afraid. The only time I saw you afraid is when he would catch you nutting behind his back when you told me to do it. So what are you talking about, you know?
So that part, he's just speaking to the fact that, once again, she was not forced to do anything. She was willingly doing what she wanted to do. And the beat downs wasn't because of her not wanting to do it, but because she was going behind his back. This is what he's alleging, that she was going behind his back, trying to, get her freak on when he wasn't watching. That's what he's saying. So, yeah, child, a little bit more. Here we go.
Nothing behind his back. So, which means like,
good example. I remember a situation. He got a phone call. So the rules of these freak offs or swinger parties was, if he's watching as a voyeur, we can't do anything sexually when he's not there. And that's a basic trust issue between men and women who are involved in a swinger relationship. If you allow someone in your bedroom, you're expecting that person to follow the rules. Usually, if you're dealing with a couple where the man is consenting to you sleeping with his wife, the man is in control of that situation. So if he doesn't want you to do anything with your wife, you can't. That's just the swinger lifestyle. And anyone who knows about the swinger lifestyle knows I'm telling the truth. If you've gone out and got someone in your bedroom, let's say for your husband, even if the woman likes the guy, she still has to defer to her husband, because when that man leaves, you still got to live with your husband. It's common sense. So this is what Cassie would do. She would defer to DeeDee just to make sure he was okay with the fact that she was giving me head, that she might want to keep having sex. And Cassie was insatiable. DeeDee never made her have sex with. He never insinuated, yo, why don't you take some D? He never said that. She would go, she would tell him I'm ready. He would say, okay, you could start. He would watch, but he would be more of a protector. He would make sure nothing happened to her. He was incredibly protective of her.
Y'all, okay, y'all. Pharaoh, thank you for the super chat. Says, too much damn detail. Trying to sound like porn star Mike Tyson or something. Child, do y'all believe in him or not? Yes or no? Do y'all believe what he's saying or not? I don't know, child. I don't know. Thank you, Pharaoh. I appreciate you. Let's continue to listen to a little bit more of this, y'all. We're gonna move on. Irvin, thank you for the super chat. Irvin Hunt says, hit the like button, y'all. Good stuff here. Thank you, Irvin. I appreciate you. Hit the like button. Do what Irvin says, y'all. Hit the like button. Thank you for the support. I appreciate you, brother. Let's continue, y'all.
They didn't put you or Rico on the stand.
No, because they knew we were going to say that she was complicit. And it's nothing wrong with her being complicit. He's still guilty of sex trafficking. Like, look at all the stuff they're exposing. In order to be guilty of sex trafficking and this RICO that they're charging him with, he basically just has to know about it, have benefited in some way, and financed it, which he clearly all did by booking rooms in the name of Frank Black. Mind you, I've checked into Frank Black rooms probably 15 times. Every room I checked into from Miami, LA, New York, I checked in under Frank Black, so I could verify that. The abuse, I physically saw him assault her at least 5 times. I can verify that. I got her pregnant. She told me I got her pregnant to my face. Let's see. It was a lot. I have no reason why they did not call me, other than the fact I released that book, and they were afraid that if the defense got to me and they started asking me about Cassie, I was gonna say, yo, listen, no, that didn't happen. He didn't do that.
What do y'all think about that? And that's another thing too, because he said him and another guy they didn't call because they felt like they didn't know which way they were gonna go. Like if he was gonna say, hey, she was complicit and it wasn't, no force or nothing, I guess, and that wouldn't work to the defense, I guess. Child, Irvin Hunt. Oh, thank you, Irvin. Successful MD says, yeah, it is crazy. Something in the milk is not right, but carry on. Child, something ain't right. Or none of it's right, really. Thank you, Successful MD. Let's continue.
Yeah, as a millionaire, as anybody, you can't solicit prostitutes and pay them. Like, it is against the law and it carries a long time. It's kind of it's teetering the lines of being a pimp. It is. And they take that kind of stuff serious. And even though girls are, it's crazy how the pimps get more time than the actual prostitutes.
It is.
Like, I feel like they have to do some changes when it comes to the laws behind that, because if girls are choosing to have a pimp And the pimp is there to protect them and ensure that they're not getting mistreated during their, I guess, encounters with men and stuff like that. And they have to pay the pimp for protection because, like, how is he going to make money? I don't know. I just feel like, to me, even though, yeah, he did all this shit, but I feel like the feds, they love a big cash out. 400 million is at stake that they're going to seize. I don't even think he'll have money for an appeal. They're going to have to go straight for a pardon. And then they'll be able to keep all of that. The Justice Department will inherit $400 million that was, I guess, made off of sex trafficking or illegal criminal crimes using his organization, bad boy records and all that stuff. And meanwhile, they get to retire off of that money. And it's like, why can't he retire off? Why are you allowed to retire off of money that you say is made illegally, and y'all get to use it to pay federal witnesses and pay for y'all retirement as well, too? The money should be burned, right? Nobody should get the money.
True. And it should definitely go to the true victims. Some of the male prostitutes that this has happened to have, like, I'm in law school. I completely changed my life. I was a male escort 15 years ago. I went back to school. I'm trying to get a law degree now. So this coming up at this point in my life is incredibly embarrassing, but I realize it's something I have to deal with. So when I actually started looking into what I was involved with this whole RICO and sex trafficking thing, considering I studied the law, I started reading the statute. I read a bunch of cases, and I realized that the primary witnesses in sex trafficking cases are usually like drug addict women that were prostitutes, they robbed men, etc. But they're usually always the crux of the government's case. What the prostitutes say are pretty much what is verbatim, and that's what gets a pimp convicted. Look at Diddy's case. Look at how all of the male escorts, prostitutes, whatever you want to call them, are pretty much telling you Cassie's involved. Why are they not listening to any of us? They literally throw our faces out there, our information's out there. They're not trying to protect any of us. They don't give a damn. They're throwing us out there. They used us for material, and then they literally just left us out to be left to just to the wolves and to the media. They would have never did this to women who were caught up in the sex trafficking ring. These
they
prostitutes.
Do protect them. They do protect women.
They protect them. I got people contacting me online. You're showing these videos. My name is coming up in all of the transcripts. I had Tisa Tells. Oh my God, Tisa Tells makes the most slanderous, defamatory video on me. She says that Diddy flipped me as a schmex worker. Diddy never flipped me. I haven't talked to Diddy since 2019. I've been a cooperating prosecution witness the entire prosecution. How could you make up a podcast claiming that Diddy flipped me? Diddy never flipped me. I'm not talking to Diddy. I'm telling the truth. Now, because I'm telling the truth and you're advocating for Diddy to go to jail because you built a platform of making him look like a complete piece of crap, which he actually is, you don't want to put anything out that says that Cassie might be complicit. You want to keep making Cassie look like a victim.
And that is true. That is true. That is true. That's the whole thing that everybody is talking about. You know what I'm saying? How they want to portray Cassie as this total victim, and she's not. That's the only thing I'm saying. I think Diddy is a nasty freak, and he probably is a freak and all that. We clearly seen him, put hands on this girl, and there are other women that he's dated claim that he did the same thing. But as far as all this other stuff, I don't think that he was in it by himself, and I do think that she chose to be a part of that. No matter how empathetic you want to sound, or women try to want to feel towards another woman, a lot of these women put themselves in these positions. You know what I mean? As much, there are women who are being abused in relationships and things of that nature, and some of them are afraid or whatever to get out of it. I understand that, but in this case, I mean, you at some point you have to take some accountability. You have to make some type of advances to remove yourself and save yourself from these abusive relationships. You can't expect people to just fully sympathize with you in these types of situations and you stay for 15 and 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something about, it's something that is causing you to stay in those relationships, in my opinion. Some women are afraid. Some women are not so afraid. They a lot of times they're there for the money and the lifestyle. They're there for other reasons that they want to be there. they depend on the man for support and things of that nature, and they stay, and I get it. But it still doesn't take away from the fact that you stayed when you didn't have to. And there's all type of advocate groups and support for women when it comes to domestic violence and these things. So you can definitely walk away from those situations getting help, because the system is set up to help women. Now for men who are claiming to be in domestic violence situations, it's difficult for them. They're not looked at the same. The empathy and, for men is not there when it happens to them. So anytime a man claims that something was done to him or he was done wrongly by a woman, nobody takes it serious. Nobody bats an eye. You look at it all like, oh, well, it's never taken seriously. So there are a lot of women. This is why women use the system, because they know it's in their, benefit that, hey, if I just say he took advantage of me, even though I was busting it open, bending it over, getting pissed on, whatever, and I wanted and I liked it, it doesn't matter. Whenever you decide, or whenever you don't like something, or whenever you feel like you're tired of it and you want to move on, you could easily just make up a lie and say that you was forced into it, and they're going to believe you. And that's a problem. And I think that's more of the focus of where I come from with it. And from what I see from all of this, not, that, and partly probably why DeeDee got the lesser charges as opposed to the bigger charges, because they were complicit. These women were getting paid. They were in this and they knew what was going on. Nobody was forcing them. And that was that. If he hadn't transported these sex workers, and he probably wouldn't even have these charges. And the main thing that everybody was up in her arms about was the fact that he was abusive towards her. That wasn't even that wasn't even a part of the case. Because if anything, it should have been a domestic violence case. But in my opinion, and then we're gonna move on, domestic violence case would not have been a big enough charge, in my opinion, to put him behind bars and have his homes raided and all of that to try to get those tapes, because I do think those tapes are a big part of all of this. Honestly, I do. I really do. I think all of this was a setup for those tapes, because those tapes implemented a whole bunch of, powerful people. So I just think they wanted to get them tapes. And I think part of the reason, and this could be a conspiracy theory, y'all, I don't know. I'm just saying, it's just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. I think he's still in jail because they're still trying to make sure that they got all them tapes and that no copies were made, and that he don't have, these powerful people on these tapes. That's all I think. I think that once they make sure those tapes have been received and destroyed and nobody has, then they're going to walk out of jail, because there's no real reason to hold him for real. You know what I'm saying? He's been in jail almost it'll be almost a year by the time they his hearing or whatever is for September or October. So it'd been almost a year the man's been in jail. So I mean that would be time served for the charges that he have. I'm assuming if they give him the lesser charges for what he was charged for, if they give him the lesser time, he might walk out with time served. But I think they're trying to make sure that those tapes are not available and that he can't use that as leverage. That's what I think. But anyway, Pharaoh, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, he's apologizing to Cassie now for releasing this info at this time. He regrets this. Oh, child. Baby, a mess. All this is a mess.com. Thank you, Pharaoh, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Hit the like button. But the judge is trying to give Puffy 10 years. Now, it's 10 years. He has 2 counts of the charges. So each one is up to 10 years. So, I mean, in all honesty, if he's charged at the maximum for both, he can do 20 years in jail. And that's still that will not be a win for him. But if they charge him on the, a lesser sentence or whatever, or time served, he could be out. But he could still do some pretty good time if they want to charge him the full 10 years for each one, which is crazy. But baby, child, we're going to see how this all unfolds. I'm going to leave this one here because he's saying a lot of stuff in this. Go over to Tasha K's channel. The whole full interview is there if y'all want to check that out, if y'all want to hear what he's saying. I want to move on from that, but shout out to Tasha K. But the man is saying a lot of stuff. If you look at his demeanor while he's saying it and how he's saying it, I don't know. He looks credible to me. He could be lying. Like I said, he could be a good storyteller, a good liar. But he's good at it if he is lying, because he didn't stutter. He didn't hesitate. He was clear on what he was saying, what he knew, and the things that he didn't know. He said he didn't know. So I don't know, because once again, people could lie really, really well. But I thought it was interesting to say the least, and I wasn't too shocked. But just the whole filth of it all, that what's her name? What is her name? Cassie. Started out young doing this. Beautiful young lady, a woman, and it goes to show you don't judge a book by its cover. Please don't do that. You look at somebody that's gorgeous and look like they're sweet, and he says she's a cool person, she's a good person, but she just like the freaky stuff. That's it. So you don't ever look at somebody and think, oh, because they're cute or they look this way, that they're innocent and that that they're just so great and so pristine and all this. No, because a lot of times they're not. It don't go by. It's not a look. It's not a look. A look has nothing. And people be quick to be like, oh, if she's not that cute, oh, she's on the uglier side. Oh my God, I don't trust her. No, you can't go by that. She would be more than likely. She probably be the one who ain't doing freaky stuff like this in some cases. Because it really just don't matter how you look. Your look does not determine who you really are and what you're capable of and what you do for real. You really got to get to know a person, because this is why another thing too, people are wondering about her husband, because I can't help but to think about her husband. Like, only time will tell, is he really going to be able to deal with all of this that this girl was doing? And is he a freak himself? Because maybe he's with the shits. Maybe he's with the shenanigans. Maybe he's into that too. That's why he's with. Maybe they like that stuff together. Maybe they, pissing on each other. I don't know. Maybe he's with it. But if he's not, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up divorcing, because that is a lot to have to deal with your wife. That's your wife. But look at everything that she was doing with all these different people, alleged diseases that they got and had, and exposure to, diseases you can't get rid of and all of this. Now, are you okay with that? Like, y'all got 3 children. So you've clearly, busting her down raw because y'all got kids. And I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? So maybe he's okay. Maybe they got an agreement. Maybe he knew about it. Maybe she told him. I don't know. Or maybe all this was a shock. They said during the court proceedings, he walked out crying with his head down. So I don't know. Maybe he heard something that he hadn't heard before. I don't know. But I'm very curious to know how this man how he's coping with all of this, because you just don't expect, somebody's wife, you make somebody your wife who's been basically for the streets for years, like, busted it open with God knows who, you know what I'm saying? And that's just not ideal. But once again, he might be with the shits and might be, you know what I'm saying, okay with it. So I don't know. But anyway, look, I hopefully wish nothing but the best to them and their family. It is what it is. Let's move on, y'all. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button.
Have no idea where they stand in relation to men. Women can't see themselves. You can't see that your value goes down dramatically as you compete with other women to give up all your value. You actually knock your value down, right? And then when you get in these relationships, you become a headache in these relationships because the ego is so big. You think you're the prettiest person in the world, and then you got the nastiest attitudes and you're selfish. And then the men, even if they wanted to play game, women make it hard for men to even be monogamous. You make it hard for a man to not want to look at another woman, because at the end of the day, a man's natural habit is to look at other women, is to pursue multiple women. If he gonna play the monogamous game, ma'am, you got to give a very good reason why he wouldn't look at another woman, because his natural instinct is to. Women give men a million reasons to look elsewhere with their attitudes.
Fellas, listen up. If your girl has done any of these things, and you're like in a serious relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, committed, she has done any of these things, it's a red flag, and you need to break up with her expeditiously, immediately. tune in. If your girl has gone on girls trips while you've been in a relationship, break up with her. 9 times out of 10, she's going with her friends who are single. And her friends who are single are looking for attention from men. They're not going on these girls trips for spa days, getting their nails done, shopping. That might be part of the girls trip, but that ain't the only thing she's doing. Her toxic friends are in her head saying, oh, you don't need her, you don't need that man, come be outside with us. The outside single life is where it's at. They're getting in her head. Break up with her, because she gonna end up breaking up with you. Number 2, she constantly gaslights you, or she's very combative. Every little thing that you say, she has a response. And it's not like a sweet response. It's a very, defensive response. You say, hey, babe, can you just clean your hair out of the shower? It's stuck in the drain. Her response is, well, I would if you would take out the trash every Friday. It's very combative. Feminine women are not combative. We live a soft era. We don't do all that extra shit. If she's being extra and just has an attitude for no reason, she's too comfortable. She needs a reality check. Break up with her. Number 3, if she has any male friends, I don't care if she knew them since preschool, middle school, high school, any male friends, break up with her. Break up with her, because she's using her male friends as a backup. I don't give a crap. Those are her backup plans in case you fuck up.
What do y'all think about that? Let me know. What y'all think about women having male friends? Are y'all okay with that? If she, had a good old Jimmy was her friend from kindergarten and they still friends today, and he's her, best buddy, and they talking all the time and they hanging out, and are y'all okay with that? Is that cool? I don't. I agree with her. Nah, it ain't gonna. No, because listen, I'm not gonna have no male friends. You're not gonna have no female friends. That's just the way it is. And you already know that. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn who it is. That ain't, nah, I don't trust it. But I know some people are more open and trusting, and they don't have a problem with it, and that's cool. Whatever works for you. So yeah, nah. I don't think women in particular or men could have the opposite sex as their good friends, especially if they're attractive. Especially if they're attractive. Now, if you look like, you know, Pennywise, maybe. I'm just saying, maybe. And I say that maybe. If the person, y'all been friends since y'all was in kindergarten, maybe, but still. She could look like Pennywise. He could look like Pennywise. They still have them opposite parts. And who knows? You're not supposed to. But I mean, I would like to think you don't. If you don't like Pennywise, so you're not gonna be attracted to that. I'm just saying. Let's continue.
Don't be stupid.
Just because that man pay all those bills don't mean he a good man. I don't know if I need to say it again for the ones in the back. Just because that man pay all the bills don't mean he's a good man. That means he's a great provider. All right? Because there's a difference. So a good man is going to, do you right, treat you right, be honest, loving, respectful. A good provider is going to make sure all the bills paid. He's going to do everything he's supposed to do, providing, being a provider, being a father. You know what I'm saying? Being the head over the household. But if you are in a relationship with a good provider, but he's not a good man to you, you're in a sticky situation because you really like the lifestyle that you live, but you don't like the relationship that you're in.
Well, I mean, that is common sense, don't you think? That's why you shouldn't be with somebody just because of what they can do for you, but how they treat you as well. I mean, that should be a no-brainer. You shouldn't jump and hop into a relationship with somebody, with a man, just because he's a good provider, just because he has a house, he has a car, he can provide you a certain lifestyle, because if you're with him, you're going to enjoy all of the benefits that come with him. Right? So this is why that is not the only thing that should matter. There are a lot of men who are not good men, but they can provide for you, because guess what? They're already providing for themselves. So he just adds you into the fold. Basically, he already got a house, he already got cars, he already have money. So you come into his life, so you benefit off of what he has, but then You jump and you go run with him because he got all these things and you can benefit off of those things, but then he treats you like you ain't shit. I just think that ought to be common sense to people. That's why I preach all the time. It's not just about the money. It's not about what he can do for you, but who is he? Does he really like you? Does he really, treat you well? Does he really want to be with you? Because I believe that if a man really wants to be with you and he really like you, he gonna treat you accordingly. He's gonna treat you the way he feels about you. If he likes you, if he really is into you, he gonna treat you accordingly. And the provisions and all that, that's just an extension of him. That comes with him. So come on. This is why more than ever, it's important to not date based off of, he got to make 6 figures. He got to make this. Well, okay, you can make all that and be knocking your head in between the washer and the goddamn dryer. Which one do you want? You want that your head knocked between the washer and dryer, or you want the money? Because if you just want the money, then it might comes with your head getting knocked between the washer and the dryer. And are you okay with that? Or do you want somebody that actually wants to be with you and cares about you and treats you well and respect you and you respect him and y'all actually build something together? And then all of the rest just goes with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I'm come on. Pharaoh, thank you for the super chat. Says just because the heifer loud doesn't mean she isn't strong and independent. Thank you, Pharaoh. Don't mean that she is strong and independent. I got you, Pharaoh. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, child. It's a mess. Thank you, Pharaoh. I appreciate you. Let's continue.
I don't think a lot of y'all mamas told you what's the difference. What's the difference? Because you can benefit from both. But I feel like if you're going to be in a relationship living with a man, you need a good provider and a good man. Because why? Because at that point, y'all were roommates. Y'all were roommates, honey. And that's not just how I feel. That's how I look at it. And you know what? I think a lot of men mistakenly get that confused too. Because they think, well, I do this and I do this and I do this. You can do all that, but you're not a good man to that woman or in that relationship. You're just a good provider. I'm gonna leave that right there.
Y'all want to know what I realized? This generation is full of bum ass bitches. A lot of y'all expect a man to just come and sweep y'all off y'all feet, and y'all can't even bring the broom. A lot of y'all want a man that already comes with money, who already got a nice car and a nice house, but you don't even have a car. You take the bus. Not only that, you are living on Section 8 and you get food stamps. But y'all want a man who's going above and beyond, that's working hard, that got his own business, that owns his own car, but you don't have nothing to your name. I don't know if the music industry has made it to where women think that they're the prize and that a man can't be the prize, which is never true. I just feel like when you're coming to a man, come with the same things that he's coming with. Just in case something was to happen, you're able to hold up the other end. Like me, I would never come to a man that I know they got money and I know I'm broke as hell. I feel like that's just going to bring more problems to the situation than do any good.
People try to make women feel less than because no one didn't pick you. He didn't chose you. You're a woman of non-worth. I'm like, it's not always that simple. There's so many different dynamics. And there's also a lot of men who truly don't want to be husbands, right? They will tell you, I don't want to get married. So how can you shame a woman for not being married when there's a large group of men who are outwardly speaking, I don't want to get married?
Well, stop going for the men who don't want to get married. That's the issue. A lot of women are trying to force marriage on men who clearly don't want it. If you meet men who say they don't want marriage and that's what you want and that's a deal breaker, then move on to somebody else who may want marriage. Once again, it's a simple thing to do. It's the problem is women are stuck on a certain type that they like. And the type that they like is probably not marriage material or marriage minded. He just don't want to get married. So why are you trying to force? And see, the thing about it, women like to use that as an excuse. Oh, well, a lot of these men don't want to get married. So why are you harping on us about marriage when the ones you are going after don't want to get married? See, he may be the one that makes the 6 figures or more or the millionaire. He's not going to commit to you. Just you? That's the thing. So this is why I say you have to know what it is specifically that you want in a relationship. Are you more concerned about just having a man that can give you a lifestyle, that can take care of you financially, but everything else goes out the window. He's never going to commit to you. He treat you like shit, but he like you around because he getting cooch out of you. And as long as he getting that from you, he'll tolerate you. But he got other women he getting it from too. But he has a roster, but he has a mansion, he has money. Yeah, it ain't nothing for you to live there and drive his cars and be a part of his roster. That takes nothing from him because he's getting what he wants from you. Do you want that? Or do you want commitment, love, and loyalty from a man who's going to be with you and be faithful to you? Because that looks a certain way. He may not be rich. He may not make six figures, but he may have a decent job and he can take care of himself and a family. And he has a house, but it ain't a big mansion. Maybe, his life is a little bit more modest. But he's a faithful man. He's looking for loyalty from a woman. He wants to have the kids and a family and the family take trips together and they just a regular family. He may want a regular modest lifestyle with a woman and kids. Do you want that? What is it that you want? Because this is where women always say they're not going to settle, is because they're looking for this total package of something that doesn't probably exist. They don't want to have to compromise with anything. They want what they want. And if they don't get it, they will not settle and they'd rather be single, but they don't want to be single because they just don't. But they don't know what else to do because they can't find that total package. They want a rich man who gonna give them the lifestyle, be faithful. You know what I'm saying? They want all that wrapped into one, and they're having a hard time finding it. They're having a hard time finding it. And so you look over men that may be attracted to you or, may like you, but because he don't have that full package that you're looking for, you walk over him, you bypass him. And so that's why you're going to constantly be single. So first off, you got to choose. It's going to have to be a choice. You're going to have to choose which lifestyle do you want? Because the one that you want you're not getting it. So you don't want to settle for a man that will be faithful because he ain't got the lifestyle. So you're going to end up just choosing you. And that's okay. If you choose you, then don't complain about not having anybody to be with you. That's all. Farrell, thank you for the super chat. Says Kendra is a dumbassery professor and scholar. No, you didn't, Farrell. Don't do that. Oh my God. And I just be laughing. Thank you, Farrell. I appreciate you. Let's continue.
So I think that we have to stop shaming people because of their relationship status, because your relationship status will never determine your worth.
Crazy though?
That's crazy.
Those women that care and watch how much money you spend and how much money you spending on them, they don't like you. Mm-hmm. Because a woman that likes you don't want you to spend all your money because she's mindful of the union and the partnership that y'all are building.
There it is.
If that woman is like, ooh, like women that are like, ooh, I need to get my hair and my nails done. Why is your hair and your nails not already done? This should be a lifestyle. Like if you literally, it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, because I have an appointment from here. I'm going to get my hair done. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to be like, oh yeah, I have my hair appointment. I have zero expectation for a man to be like, oh, here you go. You got to, no. Now, if it happens, I love that for me, but it's not an expectation because it doesn't need to be. So I personally feel like us ladies, we got to get it together because it's that standard that's making men think that the transaction is okay. We hold the standard. It's all up to us at the end of the day as women, and we got to stop being so doggone cheap.
Because we see the clips of like, oh, what you going to do for me? What you going to do for me? What you going to do for me?
And then.
No, I agree with her on this one, but she kind of goes back and forth. This lady, doctor, they're all doctor, Sarah Fontenot. I think I'm saying her name right. She kind of goes back and forth. I don't agree. I agree with her here. There's some things I agree with her on and a lot of things I don't. She kind of reminds me of the other doctor lady, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. They're older women who are still single, giving, relationship advice. And they're both in a position to where they're justifying why they're still single. Because my thing is this, and I've said this before, listen, if you're out here teaching and telling people about what makes a relationship work, people are going to start to question why it's not working for you and why you don't have a relationship. So, and that's a normal thing, way to think. That's a normal way to think that if you are the doctor and you have the answers, why isn't it working for you? And so this is, and once, I always say, listen, I bet everybody can have an opinion. I think everybody should be able to voice their opinions and their thoughts and what they think, or whatever. But let it be that. Not, when you come off as knowing it all, like you have all of the information to what works, then why aren't you benefiting from it? So this is where they get a little backlash or pushback or scrutiny, because people are saying, okay, what's up with you? If you know all this to be true, what is up with you? Are you the things that you're saying other women need to be? That's what comes up. Are you taking your own advice? Because if so, and you're around these high value men that should be attracted to your femininity and who you are as a person, why haven't any of them snatched you up and made you their wife? Why isn't that happening? And you have, so this is where it comes down to, people are all just giving their opinions. It's not a direct science of what works and what doesn't work. Everybody is giving their opinion on what they think what work should be based off of their own anecdotal experiences, right? So you talk about what you've been through, what you've gone through, what you've learned from it. That's what I would assume. You learned something from it, how you've bettered your situation, how you now look at things differently, because before you didn't, you had a certain way of thinking that was not conducive to healthy, stable relationships. Now you've changed and you've learned something. Now you're doing it differently. Now you're getting a better outcome. But if you're still telling people, hey, this is what women should be, this is what men should be for relationships and healthy relationships, and you don't have one, that is a little suspect. I can't help but say it, because I think either you've not learned from your own teachings, or you still, struggling with your mentality and your ways, and something about you is off-putting to the men that you believe you qualify for. Something is off, because there's no way that if you believe you're this high value woman and you should be able to get a high value man, why isn't it happening? And so I think this lady here, Dr. Sarah, and what's her name, Cheyenne, are both kind of struggling in that arena, in my opinion, where they're telling everybody else, as a doctor, allegedly, that this is what you should do, women should do with. So are you doing the things you're saying? That's all I'm saying, because it should yield some type of result. There should be these are attractive women. They are attractive women. So why can't you attract a good man? Or are you deep down, low key, like the women in some capacity that you talk about? Are you stuck in your ways? Or are you looking for this millionaire man, and are you not going to settle? Because I think I heard one of them say that. I think I've heard both of them say they're not going to settle. Are you really something special or different from the women that you're talking about, that you're giving this advice to? Because maybe there's not a major difference, and that could be the reason why these women are single. Because you're not really opposite of what you're of the type of woman that you want a man with money, you want a man of a certain caliber, and maybe you don't have him because that man is not attracted to you, because you're not the woman of his caliber. Could be, who knows? I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe they are not the type of women that they're telling other women that they should be. That's all I'm saying. Just saying. Let's continue.
Women will be like, well, I took my time to get ready. That man has time too. He took time out of his day to make sure that he prepared something. Hopefully he put some effort in. It's not just going to a thing. But this is another thing too, for the ladies that are listening. We gotta be mindful that men with money, I'm doing air quotes right now, men with money, or real men with money, a lot of the times what they're doing is just what they do. You are not special. So someone may think, oh my God, he flew me on a jet, or oh my God, he flew me first class, or oh my God, we went to this 5-star restaurant. Baby, that's what he does. You are not special. You insert girl here at this point, So I feel like we got to get really clear on what does each side have to offer. Are you looking for a dating experience, which is fine, or are you looking for partnership in life?
Maybe that black woman would have spoke to you if you paid for her groceries. Instead of a hi, if you said hey, can I cover your groceries? I think you're a really beautiful woman and I'd like to make your day better. We're living in late stage capitalism. Things are expensive. And black women are tired of being tired. We're tired of having to put on a smile on our faces and take care of everyone while no one takes care of us. So maybe, just maybe, if you would have just offered her something, if you would have said, let me cover half. Do you need any help? Or if you would have just left her alone, or just simply walked up to her and asked her for her name, something like that.
Oh my God, Jesus Lord, where's my other sounds? Oh my God. Where is my big sound? I can't find it. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't find my big sound, my trumpet sound, Lord. Now we know she would have loved for a man to walk up and pay for them groceries. I'm just saying. She would have loved for somebody to pay for them groceries, I'm sure. Classy Perspective, thank you for the super chat. Says Sarah Fontenot and Cheyenne Bryant are over 40 wet wipes. They are. I'm just saying. A lot of times, thank you, Classy Perspective. A lot of times these women are put themselves on a pedestal, thinking that they're better than the women that they're talking about, and then you come to find out they in this bougie high class same scenario for real. They place themselves in these categories that they think they're above the women they're talking about, and a lot of times they're not. Because I would think that these attractive women shouldn't have any problem getting a husband, and the husband that they want, the man that they feel is, the type of man that they want. But why aren't they? I'm just saying over 40. I'm just a question I'm asking. People get offended by that. Women get offended by that question, but think about it. If you're attractive and you're all that, and you dating, you should meet a man that will scoop you up and be like, oh no, this is a prize. I'm not gonna let her stay out here any longer. No, something is off. Thank you, Classy Perspective. Something is off, in my opinion. Classy Perspective also says, what the hell is this obese hippopotamus talking? Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop with that. Be nice. Please be nice. Thank you, Classy. Y'all crazy. She said buy her groceries. If you want her to smile, if you want her number, buy her groceries. She need them. Hell. Get her the groceries. Thank you, Classy. Dr. Steele says, who will pay for her groceries or bills? 1, a rich simp, lollipoppy. 2, a rich man who is thirsty as hell. Or 3, a rich man who has no game, child. None of the above. I'm pretty sure. None of the above, Dr. Steele. Thank you for the super chat. Child. Divine, thank you for the super chat. Says that big neck has enough groceries to eat. She need 2 fasts, 40 days and nights. She needs to fast 40 days and nights, like Jesus, Lord. Wait, not 40 days and 40 nights. She can't do that. Shit. She gonna be starving, baby. 40 days, 40, she ain't gonna make it. Right, Divine, she ain't gonna make it, baby. She ain't gonna make it. She can't. She gonna starve herself, She can't do it. Thank you for the super chat, Divine. I appreciate you. She ain't gonna be able to make it, baby. She need them groceries. She need them bad.
Respected boundaries, but offered something. You might have gotten a smile, or you might have been told to get out of our face, because we don't have to be nice to you. We don't have to be nice to you because we're black women. We're no longer on the plantation.
And there we have it, our first fucking contestant. She said, let's talk about men because we don't see men talking about other men. And let me know when you get picked and the prize for it. Baby girl, I've been picked and I've picked correctly. So please talk what you know and don't project from internal trauma. You need to go heal from that, okay? And let's talk about men because that's all we talk about. All our fucking lives. That's all our ancestors talked about. Let's fucking talk about it. The reason why men are so fucked up is because of you black women. Yeah, because of society, white men, and everybody else, but ultimately because of a black woman. A single, miserable, bitter ass black woman. A black woman who is insecure and blame every black man for her fucking insecurities. A black woman who was never raised and taught how to treat a fucking black man correctly anyway. A black woman who feels like the world owes her something. A black woman who is not healed from her fucking trauma. A black woman who consistently chooses to pick wrong. A black woman who disrespects herself because she doesn't understand her value and her worth. Because she's too busy agreeing with other motherfuckers for validation. A black woman who seeks validation from other miserable ass black women. If black women would do their part and evolve and stop fucking living up to societal expectations, if y'all would stop doing what the white man has programmed and brainwashed us to fucking do, black men would fucking excel. Black men would have a safe space. Black men wouldn't be fuck ass men. And clearly I must state the obvious because people are fucking oblivious. Of course, it's not all black men that act like that. Of course, it's not all black women that act like that. But you want to know, there's way too fucking many that exist. And I'm calling you bitches out. And a hit dog gonna holler. Because y'all quick to defend some fuck ass bullshit and quick to point the blame at a man. Bitches like you. And I'm calling that shit.
Pharaoh, thank you for the super chat, sis. I know Donkey Kong didn't say, tired of putting these smiles on our faces. Somebody tell Rasputia needs to stop eating crack powder donuts. Baby, you're a mess, Pharaoh. Thank you, Pharaoh. I appreciate you. Dr. Steele says, if Big Shirley here was not listening to Dr. Bryant or Dr. Fontenot, she was probably listening to Shira 7, Sprinkle, Sprinkle, Child. Leading them women down the wrong path, baby. I don't know, child. I told you, it don't matter if they 500 pounds. They feeling, oh, well, I ain't got the smile for you.
I ain't got the smile for you. Who the hell you think you are? You know, as black women, you know, we are the queens, and if you would just pay for our bills, then you might get a smile out of us. Shit, I don't know who you think you are. You know, that's how they be.
That's how they be. You know, as black women, you know, some men just supposed to bow down to you no matter if you 500 pounds or not. You know, it's just ridiculous. Thank you, Dr. Steele. I appreciate you. You know, it just don't make no sense. Pharaoh says, in shape, pro-black women looks like a good dominatrix. You love them dominatrix, huh, Pharaoh? Pharaoh want him a dominatrix, baby. Thank you, Pharaoh. I appreciate you, bro. He want him a dominatrix. I hope you find you one. Let's continue.
Project shit over here talking about let me know when you get picked, bitch. Mind your fucking business. That's your worry about what I'm doing because I'm clearly fucking happy. I'm not on here talking about black men in a negative sense. I'm not trying to talk about black women in a negative sense, but how else do you fucking get? Black women don't understand being nice to other black women because black women are envious of other black women. We all hate each other. Let's be fucking for real. Black women don't like other black women. They don't like any other fucking woman. Why? Because women are other competition, especially when it comes to pursuing a man. It's the man's fault because he was more attracted to someone else who was more confident in themselves. Regardless, it don't matter what fucking situation it is. When it becomes a woman and man conversation, women always point the blame at men, regardless of the race. I'm tired of you bitches. You're lame as hell. I hope you fucking stay miserable, stay single, and I hope you get several baby daddies that don't take care of their kids and you stuck on welfare for the rest of your life, but somebody telling you when and what and how to do some shit. Shut the fuck up talking to me with that fucking ass projecting logic. It's not logic at all. It's delusion. You bitches are in denial and living in delusion. You need to seek help, go to therapy, and I wish you the worst. That's me being a bitch. Disrespectful of the black man compared to me. Because a black woman got a sharp tongue, don't she? And I'm loud and right and educated, and I'm listening to the men. I'm listening to them loud and clear. Y'all see all these motherfucking comments and you still refuse to hear. You still refuse to believe it. That's fucking sad. They cannot win for losing. But it's okay, black man. Y'all winning over here with me. So stay over here because it's safe over here.
I was laying here in the bed and I was thinking, a relationship cannot survive in an environment where it lacks consideration and it lacks effort. I see a lot of people in relationships, they're the one putting in all the effort, doing all the footwork, trying to communicate better, trying to make it work. They're the one considering this other person's feelings, their needs, what they've been through, all of these things, and it's one-sided. You're in a relationship and you're doing the right thing, but it's so one-sided, that will become exhausting. That will fuel so much resentment because you're feeling like you're the only person that is doing everything. That will exhaust you and burn you out. Okay? So if you feel like that is what you're experiencing in a relationship, either you tell your partner, you communicate with them so that they can get a clear understanding on not the action, but the emotion. I feel like you don't consider me. I feel like you don't try. I feel like I'm the one that's doing all of these things and it's hurtful. It makes me sad. It doesn't make me feel loved. It doesn't make me feel appreciated. It doesn't make me feel valued. Not even talking about the actions, just the emotion. I can't love you and treat you the way you want to be loved in these conditions. How are you expecting me to show up and be what you need? And these are the conditions that I'm being loved in. I'm not even being loved. We're just existing. We're basically tolerating each other. Out of history, out of comfort, out of habit, we are tolerating each other. Neither one of us are happy. And I'm tired of being the only person that is trying to make this work.
You know, I think people need to stop putting their business on social media. I think these women need to stop going to TikTok telling their life story, because that TikTok is not the place you should be talking about it. You need to go talk to that man that you're dealing with, and you need to be honest and upfront about him. Y'all need to have a conversation. They having conversations on TikTok outside of the person who's doing them dirty, according to them. Y'all need to go learn how to have the conversation with the person and talk to them and tell them the things you tell in TikTok. Because that's all it is, a conversation. If you don't feel like whatever your issues are, you're supposed to talk to that person. Coming to TikTok and social media, these people can't help you. All they're gonna do is validate your feelings, and that's all you're gonna get. You're not gonna really get a outcome or a difference, because you're talking to the wrong person or people. So you need to go get off TikTok, go talk to that man and tell him how you feel. And if he don't want to do anything differently, you can't force him. That's your exit plan. If you're in a situation where it's not working and you're the only one putting the effort and the other person is not putting any effort, then you got to make a decision. You got to make a choice of what you want to do, or something that's going to, help you deal with that. Deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So why come to TikTok? I don't understand. Why come to TikTok and to what, get people on your side? Go talk. This is why I say relationships are hard. Because you have to communicate your issues. Y'all got to be able to come to some type of agreement or compromise or whatever. Y'all got to figure it out. And if you have a person who is there for the right reasons, y'all really there for the right reasons, it wouldn't be hard in that sense to come to a compromise and work out y'all differences. But if somebody's there and they don't really want to be there and they're just there for an ulterior motive, or they have something else going on, then okay, and you should see that. If you're giving your all and they're giving nothing, well, ain't nobody forcing you to stay. Shit, move on. If you're unhappy, move on. If you're really doing what you're saying you're doing and you really trying to work with the person, they just not doing it, then they just don't want to do it. And if they don't want to do anything, well, you got to make a decision. That's it. But once again, a lot of these women get into or forge relationships with men that don't really want to be there, and you're forcing something because that's who you're attracted to. And then when it wears off, or it's not working the way you want it to work, now you're complaining on social media because you're not getting the outcome you thought you were going to get, even though this probably wasn't the best pick, but you like him, he cute, he fine, or whatever, he fit the bill. But then when he's not giving you all that you thought what you kind of tried to make him give you, then now you're pissed off and you're mad. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so I'm gonna drop the link, y'all. I'm not fit. My stomach hurt. I don't know why my stomach is hurting. But I'm gonna drop the link if y'all want to come and give y'all thoughts on any of the of what I posted here real quick, y'all. But I am not feeling too good. But I'm gonna drop the link. So if y'all want to give y'all thoughts, because it is Friday, and I promise on Fridays we'll do it. I'm gonna put the link. I'm just posting the link. Hit the like button, y'all. Please hit the like button. I'm gonna drop the link. So if you want to come up, give your thoughts, y'all, and then I'm gonna get out of here. But I will post it so you guys can give your thoughts if you want to come up for a few minutes. I'm not gonna keep it too long, but also make sure you are hitting the like button. Hit the like button, y'all. Please hit the like button. I don't know why I can't see the likes. I can't see my likes. Hit the like button while y'all still in here. What's going on, Queen of Vibes? What's going on? How you been? Thank you. Thank you, Max. Okay, y'all. Thank you, Trey. What's going on, Trey? Thank you. Okay, y'all. Don't worry about it, y'all. I'm gonna try to come back. My stomach is hurting. I don't know what's wrong, and I'm starting to sweat. I don't know what's going on, y'all. I'm not feeling too hot, but I appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure y'all hit the like button on your way out, y'all. Please hit the like button. Also, watch the videos that are posted on the channel, y'all. That is super, super important. Make sure you guys are doing that. What else I wanted to say? Yeah, go watch, like, share those videos, share them as much as you can. Hit the like button on those videos, watch them, y'all. Continue to support the channel. Also, if you are new in the building and you haven't hit the subscribe button, if you like the content, go ahead and subscribe. It is free to subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys for being here. Shout out to everybody in the building, everybody who gave super chats and support or cash apps and supports the channel and hitting the like button. Everybody I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all. I'll be back soon, y'all. Hopefully I'll be back soon. I'm just not feeling good. I don't know what's wrong, but I will get back with you guys really, really soon. So thank y'all. I love y'all so much. Y'all be safe. I'll see you later. Bye.